that's not the point. The point she was making is Utah is a place where people who want to live around all white people and don't want to deal with black people, that's a
Live in
great
Utah
place.
because they're Mormons. If they're Mormons, that is why they are there.
Yeah, but Mormons.
Like this is.
But that's the only point she was making.
But
You're
it's a
finding
disingenuous point. It's a disingenuous point.
It's not.
Did my phone crash? Oh my god, my phone crashed. Holy shit. Just couldn't take it anymore. Intense. We have had a cellular defeat. Went down without a treat. Too bad. It was just getting good. We're at 150 signatures. We're at 150 signatures. Oh, this is the donation link. 150. Any, oh, even $1. Gets us one signature. Even $1 of support gets us one signature at Rockville. That earned. Yeah, it's 13. Katie Jensen was raped.
Employment Security. Just have a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today. Good morning. My name is Bryce with the Illinois Department of Employment Security. Just have a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today. quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today.
Sarah. For calling your Illinois Department of Employment Security. Please listen carefully. Your menu options have changed. Go online and be paid on time at www.ides.illinois.gov. File for unemployment insurance, choose direct deposit, and certify for benefits. It's safe, fast, and easy at www.ides.illinois.gov. Use IllinoisJobLink.com to find a job and help meet your work search requirements to be eligible for benefits. IllinoisJobLink.com is the state's Help Wanted job board. It's also the state's no-cost HR recruitment tool. Post your resume, Help Wanted ads, and help meet your work search requirements at www.IllinoisJobLink.com. If you have a question about your direct deposit or debit cards, including your reset of your PIN, lost or stolen card, or change of address, call Claimant Services at 800-244-5631. That's 800-244-5631. You also can certify for benefits with Teleserve at 312-338-4337. This is available 5 a.m. to
Even
7:30
$1
p.m. Monday
worth
through
of
Friday.
signature and everything.
Your employment office is open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. It is closed on state holidays. Service is always available at www.ides.illinois.gov. If you are calling about direct deposit or debit card issues, including the reset of your PIN, to report a lost or stolen card, or to report a change of address, please hang up and call Claimant Services at 1-800-244-5631. For all other issues, please listen closely to the following menu. Our options have changed. For all questions about your unemployment claim, press 1. For assistance with finding a job or placing a job order in Illinois Jobs Link, press 2. To repeat this menu, press star.
It's the worst service.
I do not recognize that as a valid entry.
For all questions about your unemployment claim, press 1. For assistance with finding...
Thank you for calling the Illinois Department of Employment Security. As part of our customer service improvement plan, all unemployment insurance-related calls are now being handled by our Claimant Services Center, which can be reached by hanging up and dialing 800-244-5631. Please note this new number for the future. We apologize for any inconvenience and hope you have a great day.
That's it. It's like getting unemployment insurance in Illinois is insane. It's a runaround. If you don't get that call, if you don't pick up that call, you're screwed. But our primary phone for Clubhouse Anonymous has croaked, so we're facing some technical difficulties here at the show right now. It's unfortunate. We do have other Clubhouse accounts, so what we'll do is we will just go to a public room. This phone doesn't have it. This phone doesn't have it.
I take a stance, you ask me a question, correct? And now we're going.
Stuff like that probably leads. It probably comes out of fear.
The framework in which we're exchanging right now. Do you agree?
Hey, Sphinx, I just want to quickly say something before you go on your tangent or rant. Listen, what Israel's doing is not a genocide. I'll tell you what the real genocide is. Yesterday,
I didn't mention genocide.
I know, yesterday I was walking in New York. I know I'm almost done. Yesterday I was walking in New York, and I saw these very Indian-looking men, but they all spoke Arabic. That means they're from the Gulf Arab countries, okay?
Potentially.
These people conquered the entire and colonized the entire Middle East, okay, and genocided us for 1,500 years in a row. We were genocided for 1,500 years by these Arabs in a row. So what Israel is doing is decolonizing, and it's not. And what Israel's doing is a crumb compared to the vast murders of these Arab Gulfies. Okay, when I saw them, I just saw them. I was in sheer anger. And they have my people under mind control right now, all the Egyptians who think that they're holy people because Muhammad came from their region. And so they're like, yeah, we're so happy they colonized us. We love that they conquered us and killed us for 1,500 years, you know? So it's time to have payback and retribution, and Israel's going to hand it to them.
The Coptics will rise again, I'm sure.
Thank you, my brother. And it's not even just about us, man. I was in such sheer anger seeing these Khalijis, bro. I'm like, yo, these are the ones that conquered us? You gotta be kidding, man. I was infuriated looking at these people, man.
Well, it wasn't those guys, but maybe their great-grandfathers, but probably not them, right?
No, they still conquer us till this day, bro. What are you talking
By
about?
the way, somebody in the chat sent me a private message, and there's a link there. Who sent me this?
Me.
Even $1
okay.
is
I'm not the type of guy who likes to click on links if it's not safely detected. What's the nature of that link? What was
I'll
it?
tell you. It's an account on X which exposes the Palestinian lies. Like BP said, that new restaurants are open every day,
Okay.
and
Okay.
things like
Thanks
that.
for the parenthesis.
You can go to X and search for
I might check it later. If you allow me, I was going to go back to what I was going to say before two people wanted to say something before. As I said earlier, I consider myself to be a pretty smart guy, and what I do is I do not make assumptions. I don't think I said anything that was a lie, and I asked you guys to either confirm or debunk what I brought as evidence. I never spoke about starvation. The only two links I brought was two elements. Which one was there are multiple children that are imprisoned because they threw rocks at a tank. Maybe you agree with this?
Let me ask you a question.
Can I finish?
If you throw rocks at a police car in Montreal, are you gonna get arrested?
I don't think a kid would go in prison for 2 years for something. Do you agree with me? It's important the framing. Now, the frame you bring is a bit different.
If children in Montreal throw rocks at a police car, do you not believe they're gonna be detained?
You see, you're framing the question differently now.
No, I know. It's a government vehicle.
I'm giving you my answer. I don't think a kid.
Let me frame it for her. Let me give him a nice legal reference, okay?
If you want, but
Okay,
meanwhile, can I
so,
just go
in the event,
One second.
in the event a
Interruption.
minor,
Akshia, she is a mod. So sorry, Sphinx.
in the
Let her
event
speak.
a minor tosses a projectile at either a police officer, was that your question, a police officer?
It was
No,
not
a
a
tank.
question.
He said throwing rocks at a tank.
So
Which is basically also framing, but not a tank.
If a minor takes a projectile and throws it at either a civilian or someone in the military in the United States, what do you think is going to happen to them?
I don't think a kid is going to be in prison 3 years in a
You
military.
know what happens in the United States when a juvenile throws a projectile at someone in the military or at
As
a
you saw,
civilian?
I never interrupt anybody who was speaking, and I think I've been respectful throughout. And this was not my point. There
So
are
we're asking
multiple
the question
interruptions.
now. Just answer a
No,
direct
it
question.
was not-
What do you
it
think
was not a-
happens under the
it
law
was
of the
not a
United
question.
States? What do you
I'd
think
like-
happens?
My answer
Direct
is, I said it again. If a kid wouldn't be in a military prison for 3 years.
What, you know what
When you walk
happens?
at a
They
thing.
go to juvie. If
Yeah,
it's under
not
state
military,
law.
not
And they
military
stay
prison.
in juvie, for quite some time.
Yeah, the framing is not the same.
It's a longer period usually in juvie.
But it wouldn't
They don't
be a
just-
prison, a military prison. It's very different.
Have you ever been to juvie in the United States?
Time doesn't know.
Have you ever viewed or seen juvie in different states? And remember that there's 50 states with various different juvies. So have you ever seen it?
Some videos I've seen. Yeah.
Also, what does it matter? Every state, every country has its own laws, has its own legal
Correct.
protocols.
But
That's
the
how to
thing
handle
is, I got
certain
interrupted
situations.
twice, and you guys don't even know where I was going to go.
And one of the issues is that Hamas and various other terror groups use children as terrorists, right, to
My
disguise
approach,
their
approach
adults.
is more constructive. If you allow me to complete, as you've seen, I never came across as being threatful or aggressive. If you allow me, please, because interruption
Fair
is
enough. Go ahead. You got the mic. Fair enough. You're right. Go ahead.
So as I was describing myself, my hyper focus is in a humanist point of view, and this is how it should be applied throughout the world. So Israel is a very special case because it's so rich in different cultures, and then there are multiple political layers. So the ultra-Orthodox Jews, they have their own pressure on the system, and I understand why, because without them, Netanyahu wouldn't be there anymore. There's the settlers that are being victimized on both ends. So Jewish settlers and Jewish Arabs farmers, etc. Now, if we are wise about it, because at the end of the day, let's say an alien spaceship is watching the planet and they're neutrally analyzing the situation, what would they do? They would do it mathematically. So all the different dimensions, you don't make amalgam. I don't know how you say amalgam in English, but mixing everything together, this is the approach when you want to manipulate people. What I do, I have a scientific approach. So I want every dimensions to be laid out on one table, a round table where all the actors are surrounded, hopefully with good intentions. Right now, there's violence. The Arabs are immature in their approach of fixing the issue or trying to get support, because what I get from videos on YouTube is they tried multiple approaches. I'm not saying, when I say I'm talking about specific individuals or little groups, because of course I don't have omnivision and omniscience of the situation. I look at it scientifically with a humanist perspective. The best approach is to bring as many people with good intentions and not focusing on aggravating the situation. Starvation, most likely there are places where Palestinians are starving. It's good when everybody goes on the same plane, and instead of debunking, oh, you're a liar or a liar, going the other way around. How can we make it more peaceful? And bringing the wisdom and intelligence of all the different actors to bring it forward. Because right now,
You should have said that earlier, bro. I know how we can do that.
I tried.
Okay, I have the answer. I have the answer. I have the answer so quick for you. I wish you would have said it earlier.
I tried.
Okay, all they have to do is release the hostages
You know, it's
and
not
unarm
possible to do
Hamas, and that's it. Simple.
I don't know how honest you are. I will
I'm
explain that you're honest.
extremely. I am so hopeful and honest that, believe me, my heart is crying out because it's such an honest answer. Release the hostages, unarm Hamas.
say two sentences to Sphinx. Hi, Sphinx. In order to have a solution, you need to first analyze what is the
George,
problem.
you've taken
Okay?
too many
Pfizer
Pfizer
hits,
hits.
and that's the human beings that take leadership. Because right now, people rely on the system, and we know it's not going to work.
You missed my point. You missed my point. You are kind of moving forward to a solution, which is great. But and you're saying like smart people, they will come up with like magical solution. But
Not magical, but engineering peace and a just approach.
yeah, I understand. I understand. But in order for you to find a solution for everybody to live in peace, you need to first of all identify what is the problem, why there is no peace, and I'm not sure that there's one major, like a few at least that are peace blockers.
No, everything with Israel is more complex. Nothing is simple, but it's a matter of all laying the different
I
dimensions.
didn't say it's simple. I didn't say it's simple. I said you need to you were like talking about having an analytical like mindset and what approach. What I'm saying, in order to find a solution, even if you're a doctor, if you want to give a medicine, you don't start with like the medicine. You start with the diagnosis. Okay, first step is diagnosis of what is the problem, what is wrong,
Congressman
what
John
is not
Kitover,
working.
Darren LaHood, George
After you
Donahue.
have this,
That's one of the major
George is
forces
taking
that is.
too many Pfizer
no
hits.
justice.
Candy Congressman.
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
A lot of Palestinians. Okay, let's simplify the situation. Okay,
George, you
I
must
will
not be a
ignore the
serious
Jews
host.
for now.
Certainly
Let's
not.
just get
Anything
the
you
average
see.
perspective.
Perhaps you
Yeah,
take
just
too
I'll tell
many
you,
Pfizer
just so you
hits.
say, yes, you know, it's not Jews,
See the interview.
it's Israel.
Candy Congressman John Kitover,
Israel is
George.
80% Jewish, or even less, and the rest are Muslims and Christians.
Okay, I will
Also
reformulate.
Muslims in the IDF. Israel
I
is.
will reformulate. Let's
Man,
take
look specifically as
non-Palestinians
libelous.
out of the presentation for now, because you have to divide the different actors.
I knew somebody would win that.
That might be true. Okay. Without God and higher ideals, institutions will collapse. False.
Those type of values that you promote. I'm glad to hear that. I actually agree with many of your conservative takes. Thank you. I disagree with some as well. That's just because I think for myself. We agree on a lot. We disagree on some. I can say this, that we both want a country based on merit, and I think we should keep that as our ultimate goal and purpose. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so what do Okay.
You know it would take too much time, so let's instead of putting too much weight on this, let's see how I'm going to bring the things. Okay, so let's consider that Palestinians don't feel justice. Now there's a problem. It's going to be I don't know how you say that in English. Like it's like political. In French, we say. So there are instances that are going to take over a potential power that they have. So people don't feel justice, so they will say, "I will take care of it." Then you will have multiple different approaches. One will be the PLA, one will be the Hamas, one will be little ghetto gang members, etc. Others will be immature kids throwing rocks at a tank, thinking this is going to change anything, etc., etc., etc. Now, this become a potential for whoever is in power, because let's be honest, Israel is in top dogs in the world on how to leverage and strategize. Do you agree with me?
We do what we need to do. I don't know if we're a top dog, but we do what we need to do.
You're a pretty top dog. So
okay.
AI, satellite reconnaissance,
having spies in every countries, having intelligence in every countries, making bounds with all the powerful other resources in the world, having I forgot what's the word, controlling the politics in the states. I'm sorry, I'm listening.
You need to understand they yes they killed so many Palestinians.
Sal, hold on 1 second. Sal, hold on 1 second, okay? Hold on.
Well, let me let.
Yo, no, he's in the middle of we are in the middle of something.
I go
Okay,
silent
so wait.
after this.
No, but we're in the middle of a conversation. Sal, hold on with and you
No, alongside his conversation, because now he's making it seems that
we are talking about identifying. We are talking about identifying the problem.
I know.
And what makes it impossible to be fixed right now? That's what I was laying out layer by layer. I'm listening.
Between civilians and soldiers, Palestinians killed around 20,000 Israelis. You know what I mean? So they're hurt.
What you're saying right now is we're focusing on one detail, so nothing is going to be fixed because
I get it, but they are hurt.
No, hold on. Sal, hold on. You're just derailing the conversation. Hold on your turn, and we can listen to you. But Sphinx was in the middle of going somewhere else. I understand you want to go take us somewhere else, so just hold on, okay? I'm trying to understand Sphinx.
The key element for me, I have the impression, I don't think I have a solution to everything, but at the minimum, I think this would be a good leverage. So being able to take position and addressing this leverage
taking too many Pfizer vaccines.
Since they don't feel justice, even if they release the hostages, even if this, that, nothing is going to change. We have over 60 years of history proving that my point. So the key element seen on the Palestinian side seems to be they don't feel justice.
But Sphinx, I need to stop you because again, I asked you a question and you're answering with repeating my question. My question was, what is the problem? Why do they feel injustice? Because you're saying they feel unjust, but they can always feel unjust. There are many people also in the United States that are.
George Diner.
Keep interrupting. Hold on 1 second.
You can be part of the convo. Stop interrupting.
Listen, also in the United States, there are people that feel that they don't have justice, and then they take a gun and they blow someone's head. I mean, the feeling
what you're doing
that someone
right now
has...
is just making this conversation worthless, because now we're going to change.
No.
Instead of focusing on the mechanics.
No. Sphinx, please stop. Sphinx, please. No. I'm not going to example. I'm telling you that an individual feeling that someone has, or that he was told that there is injustice.
Go on.
I'm listening to you without interruption, and I'm trying to you were stopping me 3 times in one sentence. So again, you're talking about that they feel that there is injustice, and because of this, they act upon this feeling of injustice. But
George Deinhardt.
My original question was, what is the problem between Israel and Palestinians? And then
George Deinhardt.
Unjust. So I'm asking you, what is the injustice? Why do they feel that there is injustice done for them? I go down with you. You said you have an analytical perspective. So let's analyze. A title of someone feeling unjust. We should be very careful with saying, "Oh, he felt that he was treated badly, so he just went and shot someone, or he went and he killed someone, or he went and he raped someone." That is not a way to solve anything. Why do they feel unjust? Or let me ask you this: what will make them feel that justice has been done?
Hey, Bima!
I know the answer, okay? I'm just trying for you to
be master. Be master. Be master. Yo, Be master, why don't you come up and say hello? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. I know we have absolutely different political and economic opinions, but, even though I may have differing opinions, I enjoy speaking with you. And I think a lot of people do. And I think people like the way you sound. I think that's one of your attractive qualities. So this is Israel and Palestine debate starring you. Yes, I am leeching off the room. This is safe for Jews debunking Paley lies and propaganda in BB's room. I was kicked out of the room. So, whenever somebody kicks me out of the room, guess what I do, Bima? I go right back in and anonymous. Good afternoon and welcome to the show, Bima.
I think that that's great. So, what did you say before you got kicked out, or did you not get a chance to say anything?
Well, I was talking about how this all resembles a dance and the spiral nebulae, and let the partners find themselves, but let's, do it gracefully and peacefully. No more violence. That's what I was saying, and then shortly thereafter I was kicked out.
So it sounds like you support no violence. Wow. See, that could be construed as an anti-Semite.
Well, see, I'm literally just doing neurolinguistics. I'm not actually on a battlefront, and I'm not in any political power or military power. So, oh, hey, Sasha, welcome to the room. This is Israel and Palestine debate starring you. Love to have you as a speaker here, Sasha. So that's what I was mentioning, that, for all of our sakes, we should be using our words wisely and efficiently and, limited amounts of words because time is limited. And so I'm just always trying to stress the positive and use positive words. I don't want to listen to some deranged loser on this app who I know very well, and I know their situation in life, and I know their criminal history in life. I don't want to take, I don't need to take wisdom from people like that. I can, open a book, and I'd rather go straight to the source. So, Bima, I hate to tell you, but I'm in a book club, I'd like to talk about books, because everything else is really just political. So, I choose to, maybe that's how I choose to be political. But anyways, that's all I'm saying.
I love it. What book club? Do you remember that website called like meetup.com?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to like book clubs, the meetups. It was really fun. But what type of book club? Online book club, and what are you reading?
So my book club is a special book club which has rules that many other book clubs don't have. The first rule is we read books to each other in 10-minute increments. And that's that's all of our rules. It's the only rule we have in our book club. That's it. So, without further ado, Bima, I'd like to read a book to you. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll give you 3 choices. The first choice is Star in the West. The second choice is Meditations. And the third choice is Tao Te Ching.
We already read the last, so let's do the first or the second.
Star in the West? No, this is your choice.
1 or 2.
This is your choice. You can hear Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, or you can hear Star in the West, or Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. You choose. It's your choice, what you listen to.
Okay, let's do Meditations.
Okie dokie. We're going about where we left off. This is book 5, chapter 9. So I like to say that this is, sacred chanting or hymning. So just or meditation, take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. Let it go. This is the 9th verse in book 5. Be not disgusted, nor discouraged, nor dissatisfied, if thou dost not succeed in doing everything according to right principles. But when thou hast failed, return back again, and be content if the greater part of what thou doest is consistent with man's nature. And love this, to which thou returnest, and do not return to philosophy as if she were a master, but act like those who have sore eyes and apply a bit of sponge and egg, or another applies a plaster, or drenching with water. For thus thou wilt not fail to obey reason, and thou wilt repose in it, And remember that philosophy requires only the things which thy nature requires, but thou wouldst have something else which is not according to nature. It may be objected. Why, what is more agreeable than this which I am doing? But is not this the very reason why pleasure deceives us? And consider if magnanimity, freedom, simplicity, equanimity, piety are not more agreeable. For what is more agreeable than wisdom itself? When thou thinkest of the security and the happy course of all things which depend on the faculty of understanding and knowledge, so you can see philosophy is a little bit outside of politics. It's still in politics, but it's almost, I think it's its own category with its own proper noun, philosophy. So you just heard a sample from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. And it's, it's transcendent, it's transformative, it's intelligent, and I hope you enjoyed that, BMO. This has been my book club. Do you have a book you would like to read from, BMO?
That's so much fun. I'm not in a position to go grab a book, but yeah, I can be prepared next time.
Okay, great. Well, next time, just remember that all my rooms are clickbait titles because all I'm actually doing is the book club.
Very cool. That sounds really awesome. Thank you.
Okay, I give you your regularly scheduled programming. BB talking endlessly.
Why is this happening?
Daniel too.
Maybe it's happening, and maybe you don't know, but from the beginning of this year, 2025, which we did not finish yet, there have been more than 1,000 terroristic attempts from Judea and Samaria on Israel. More than 1,000. That's more than 3 per day. You understand what I'm saying? And because they are promoting terrorism, and because they are promoting this mindset of there is injustice done, so go and murder Jews, we have to put those blockades to make sure that the people that are moving to Israel or to Jewish cities within Judea and Samaria don't plan to blow up. And unfortunately, it is needed because it's happening every single day.
Daniel,
you don't want to have choke points? Great.
Do you agree with me, Daniel? Do you agree with me that one of the intentions of the Israeli government is to isolate the Arabs and hopefully have them removed? Do you agree with this?
I would agree with you with a bit more nuance. I think that what you're missing is that Judea and Samaria is what is called disputed land. Okay? It's disputed. They say it's theirs, we say it's ours. And right now, it's disputed. This is the situation. Now, there's the situation, the jura and de facto, meaning what is going on the ground and what is like the legal status. And both sides try to make facts on the ground. Jews, you even call them settlers. When it's Palestinians that build a new neighborhood, you call them farmers. Okay? The problem with your framing that by the fact that it's a Jew that is settlement in Judea and Samaria, it's wrong, it's bad intentions, it's meant to drive out the Palestinians out. When they do it, it's 100% legitimate. You know that, for example, this story now in Hollywood, a movie called No Other Land. I don't know if you heard about it. It won some
You're
Oscars.
very welcome to share a link if you have.
I don't have a link. I said the name of the movie. It's called No Other Land. It's in movies. I don't have a link because you need to pay a ticket to see it. But it's called No Other Land, and it shows like how the Israeli military goes and destroys buildings in Judea and Samaria. And you will say, oh my God, horrible. What you don't know is that those
those people in Masteriate, which is the place in the movie, they claim that this land is theirs. They went to the Supreme Court in Israel. They laid out all their evidence. For 20 years, there were discussions about this specific case. And the court, when they started the case, they said no one is building anything until we decide whose land is it. We cannot freeze the situation.
Can you repeat the name of the video you're talking about?
No other land.
Okay, you keep going, I'm listening.
Alexa, stop. So for 20 years, there was a Supreme Court deliberation regarding this area, Masteriate.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to Zach's accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a unit party at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HRX.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much
Hello?
John Kitover.
Yes, this is John.
Had a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. If you had a moment this afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, let's do it. I'm free.
For verification purposes, can I have you identify the last four digits of your social security number, please?
Sure, 6126.
For that, and your date of birth, please, sir.
11682.
Thank you very much for that. The reason I was calling today was just wanting to make sure about any updated information or last day's work that might need to be added to the claim. Right now we have the last day of work at May 2nd, 2024.
Yes, that's the paperwork I received from the IRS. And so I also, wanted to get the administrative law hearing because I had filed a lawsuit against the IRS, an EEO complaint. And that EEO complaint has been investigated, and I have all the paperwork that I need to submit because I was physically threatened that I'd be punched in the throat if I returned to work, and I was also sexually harassed. So that's all in the complaint. But I did file the appeal on Illinois, on the website, but I didn't ever get a response from the submission that I made. So I may have done it wrong, or I didn't have the right number. I'm not sure how or why I haven't heard back from that appeal, but.
Let me double check right now on that for you, sir.
I had gotten a call from a young lady and she had given me like some reference numbers, but I had lost that when I hit the appeal button and submitted the files.
Before, sir, I apologize. I do see the the document that you're speaking about. I don't see any work attached to it right now, though.
I do have updated documents because I just had to send in a 40-page document back to the IRS and to the civil rights attorneys there. So I do have another document to send that I'd like to submit when I, can actually schedule and get an administrative law hearing.
Well, sir, that's what I needed. If it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and I'll put a work on this appeal right here, and I'll get your claim put through today, just so we make sure somebody's looking at that appeal for this claim. And then any additional information that you're submitting, just exactly like you have been in the ECF. It appears that there has been some kind of an issue as far as whenever it was submitted that the work was not followed. And so that does seem to be the issue right now. The trace numbers would help, but I'm going to add an extra additional work to it and just put it from there, if that's okay with you today.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you.
I do apologize for that. Is there anything I could hope to answer, though, other than that for you today, sir?
Is it possible for you to help me schedule the hearing to get the administrative law judge to hear the case and to notify the employers so they can be present?
Yes, sir. That's actually what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, well, what I'm actually going to do is just send the information on to an adjudicator who will schedule the hearing for you. And
Okay.
you'll be received a letter by mail.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much then. I guess I don't really have any other questions for you.
Well, I do appreciate your time today, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks. I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Gullett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. The primary election is next March.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Mariel Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Yes.
I don't think tariffs are good for the economy.
I will turn over every rock to fuck your life up.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Mariel Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to his X accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a uniparty at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HRX.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks, I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Gullett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. Primary election is next March.
I was literally laughing when he kept doing that right jab, and he a southpaw. But when he kept doing that little playful jab, like pow, 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 and making Canelo upset.
I see it all hurt.
And he's an awkward southpaw. Like, everything about him is just street. Like, it's not really refined.
Yeah, he
Russell Johnson.
He whoops ass. And then there was a lot of hits taken.
It was a lot.
Canelo, you're gonna be blue tomorrow, bro.
Canelo gonna sit on you and try to make a big ass punch, right? But you're not gonna get it with him. Canelo just sat. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get you. Nah.
He was trying to dodge them long arms.
Mel, we'll stop when you're ready.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm done. If you don't want to see the actual video.
I thought you had a clip.
Oh no.
Did you put it in the chat?
I put both of them in the chat. So one is a news article, and then the other one is the Instagram clip. But this was in Colorado on August 30th.
George Dinard.
What happened?
Officers shot a black man. He was 37 years old. I believe his son was next to him. He did drop the gun, so he didn't have the gun on him. And officer swung at him. You're gonna see like 2 times. Then the guy was squaring up with the officer, and that's when he shot him multiple times and killed him.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Try to tell some morals. Civilians, no need for killing civilians. Try to tell some.
That for you, we the people, we have to kick these credit card mortgage debt junkies out of government. They're destroying your future.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Mariel Segarra. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to Zach's accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a uniparty at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR Acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks, I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Golett of Chillicothe is
crazy ass fan base to like come attack them, I think would be damaged.
Yeah, he did that to a few professors at Johns Hopkins, and he.
Yeah, my friend works at Georgetown Law, and he did that to him. So somebody's like, what damage?
And they were getting death threats. They had to take down their publishing because their families were receiving death threats and being stalked. So it was a long watch list that Charlie Kirk had created with their information on there. So like, yeah, I don't know what this person really is talking about.
Emotional damage.
Democrats, liberals, LGBTQ.
Yeah, if we can tie this back to arresting Netanyahu and Trump, I'm all for it.
Why does everything go back to like Israel?
That's what I'm saying. I'm so like I'm not
always goes back to Israel.
It goes back to Netanyahu though specifically.
I just don't understand, like, why all of a sudden in 2025, everybody is in this uproar about Israel. Like, this shit has been going on for. No, hold on. It's just.
They just found out about it.
Yeah, we just found out about it. No, you're right. It's virtue signaling. It's virtue signaling. Yeah, and also it's like they never talk about the connections, Israel has to the DRC. They never mention that, and that bothers me so much because I'm like, if you truly care about genocide, if you truly care about atrocities happening to people, then why don't you ever talk about what is happening in Africa, what Israel is doing to Africa, and other nations have been doing in Africa? Like, I don't
care about what
I could be talking about whether you. I could be talking about whether you prefer drums or flats, and they say Israel. Like, bitch, what? God, like what?
No, you don't know the root. Like you because you talk about this Israel. That shit started in 1948. Are you? Yeah. Yes. Okay. It's longer. You weren't alive, and you trying to circle shit back to Charlie Kirk's murder. What I find offensive is that you come in a room of another group of marginalized people and you keep trying to force us to care about whatever your plight is. You're not even black, and then you keep doing this. I don't get this. It's very disrespectful. We never want to talk about it.
Well, that's pathetic.
So listen.
No, it's not. It's not pathetic. Hold on, because this always happens
when the show's called Life Kit,
people like you gotta stop doing that.
I'm Mariel Segava. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learned right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to Zach's accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a unit party at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We are spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR Acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks. I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Gullett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. The primary election is next March.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Mariel Segato. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your unit.
Drew Daniel, English professor at Hopkins, on the list, recalled receiving similarly abusive messages. He was placed on the watch list after he signed a letter that condemned the horrific ongoing violence, quote, the horrific ongoing violence inflicted on the Palestinian people. Turning Point website labels Daniel a quote-unquote terror supporter and an anti-Semite. Soon after he was added to the list, Daniel, who was raised in a mixed Jewish household, started getting abusive emails and messages from people.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. This is pretty much the end, but I can stop here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking to me, are you, Lisa?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, let me just finish. It's almost over. So this is the quote from Daniel. Quote, I got to see firsthand a new wave of hostility towards academia as a sector. Charlie Kirk represented a smiling face that seemed to be open for but in terms of the effects on someone like a professor, the watch list is much closer to the legacy of someone like Joe McCarthy. And then they just explained who Joe McCarthy is. You know, McCarthyism, communist watch list, 1950s. Daniel said he's grown increasingly worried about being surveilled while teaching, which he said would be a, quote, betrayal of the kind of trust and intimacy that takes place in the classroom. Because he's tenured and at a private university, Daniel's not as worried about losing his job, but he has friends who teach at public colleges, especially in Republican-led states, he said, who have become more cautious about what they teach, and this is the final quote. Charlie Kirk's legacy is empowering classroom surveillance and encouraging young people to harass professors that they disagree with. I don't see Charlie Kirk's actions with the professor watch list as at all consistent with a belief in free speech. That's it.
I agree 100% as one who's been a college professor and has taught college. It's okay to have students debate when you're debating. I taught software and science. One is debating about a principle, a mathematical principle, or an algorithm, or something like that. But this Kirk individual who dropped out of junior college does not have the capacity to debate with an actual professor of any substance.
No, with fact, no.
Yeah, the outside of throwing rocks and then leveraging his whole white so-called Christian nationalism, which there's no such thing that exists, that's something they made up. It's a continuation. I said this last week. In the 1950s and 60s, my parents taught me, and I researched it. There was a group called the White National, or White, hold on. It was called the White Citizens Council. Yes, you go look it up. White Citizens Council. It was in the 1950s and 60s. And we did a comparison and contrast against this Kirk person at this turning point, and their positions of how they moved were exactly the same. They were very much so anti-Brown versus Board of Education in 1954, and Kirk vehemently was opposed modern racial justice movements like DEI and critical race theory. They tried to present the councils tried to present themselves as a respectable face of segregation. Kirk and his organization create the political mainstream by trying to do through debate and media appearances and campus activism, trying to appear to be that they are just a salient voice of reason. They use coercion. Councils in the 50s and 60s, my parents told me, used to punish civil rights supporters. Kirk's organization, Turning Points, they have, like the young lady said, the professor's watch list that targets educators for their views, and it's been criticized as a form of professional and social coercion. So this is nothing new. He's just taking an old playbook. They actually did this in the 40s in the United States, 30s and 40s in the United States, pre-Nazi Germany, in colleges here in the United States. You can go back and read about that. And so this person was radically anti-black in his stance. He used a Ku Klux Klan model of Christianity, calling it nationalism, which there's no such thing that exists. Because nationalism excludes Christianity, whereas Christianity includes human beings. So the two things are 180 degrees polar opposites of one another. But by packaging things and putting a smiling face on it, it's akin to the same thing as my father told me how the Klan used to come to his house when he was a child in Birmingham, Alabama, and try to burn crosses, and my family would have shootouts. So it's just, but yet they'd be the same people with the judges and the city council people and this. It's the same thing. It's the modern day same thing. It's the exact same thing.
Carlos, what was the name of that book again? The White what Council?
It is called the White Citizens Council.
The White
WHITECITIZENS Council. The White Citizens Council were in the 1950s and 60s, and they were a network of white supremacist, segregationist organizations that resisted racial integration after Brown versus Board of Education ruling.
So Catalyst,
yes, sir.
because those groups were around at that time, obviously, and they tried to, do what they do, and I think that they may not have succeeded, or maybe they went back into the shadows, and history is repeating itself right now. Do you think it's going to be the same case where these small subgroups are like trying to surface and trying to do the same things, but they won't be successful? Or do you think they have a chance of being successful this time?
I think when more young black people, 20s, teens, 20s, 30s, understand history from their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents who lived in the area and use the same tactics with a modern element, I think those individuals will not be successful. They can be more successful the more black young.
So they're just going to throw us off a little bit, but we're going to get back on course. You think?
Absolutely. I definitely think it's possible for black Americans to get on course, especially if they understand that there's nothing new under the sun. It keeps going around. I mean, if you look at Roberts, Supreme Court judge, last week was a phenomenal week in American history. On Monday, they went after the Fourth Amendment to discriminate against people based on skin color. On Tuesday, they started via the shadow docket. They started chipping away at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. On Wednesday, Eric Schmidt, the governor of the senator in the state of Missouri, came out in front of the John Birch Society. Go look up John Birch Society. You understand?
Oh yeah, I know it.
Yeah, and said America is white people. And our relatives made it our
say that the whole human race of members
the same day
from that
in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate in D.C., the GOP senators voted to block the Epstein files. On Thursday, the GOP Senate gave up their advise and consent authority in the Senate. In the Senate, the senators, the U.S. senators, are responsible for advice and consent of who gets elevated to the next, whoever's trying to come in, whether it's someone they're trying to get put on. Well, this administration said we're going to get rid of all that, and we want to have a block advice and consent. So instead of rating each individual, we're going to just put a bunch of them together. And they did what's called the nuclear option in the Senate to override the Senate's role of advice and consent to the executive. So there's been a series of things that have been taking place to whittle away using white nationalism and to strip black people from rights. Right now, in October, next month, they brought back up Voting Rights Act, which is the 1965 Act. They've stripped Part 4 and 5. They're going after Part 2, which is the last third leg of the Voting Rights Act. They're trying to strip that down. So black people have no civil rights, no voting rights, and they're going after the Fair Housing Act of 1968. And in 1968, they've already gone after affirmative action, or DEI. The thing that Lyndon Baines Johnson put in effect in 1968, week one, when Trump came into office, he overturned Lyndon Baines Johnson's executive order creating affirmative action. So there's a systemic method to unrattle all the things that our parents and grandparents have fought for, died for, put in place since '64.
One more catalyst. You heard of HR 5300, right?
I know that piece of legislation, sir.
Yeah, Marco Rubio proposed it on September 11th.
Jesus Christ.
And part of the legislation, there's a lot of it in there, but part of it is where they can cancel your passport if they don't like your like what you put online, basically eliminating freedom of speech. Right? They have the authority to cancel your passport if they don't like what you're saying online.
Someone in the chat said InfoWars leftist. I'm not a leftist, so I don't know where they're coming from.
Well, no, forget the chat, but Marco Rubio did introduce that bill or whatever. Have you seen that?
I have not, sir. I don't know if anyone's looked at the news today, though. Trump, when he was running for office, said he wanted to get rid of, what do they call that? Daylight savings time, which has to do with, depending on what coast you're on, and he wanted to have everything be the exact same. They forwarded a bill today to get rid of that, which does destructive amounts of, it upsets.
And they're forwarding bills that mean nothing. Why are you even thinking about daylight savings time right now? Like, who even comes up with these things, right? Like, during what's happening. Like, it's just dumb.
Sir, I agree 100% with you, sir. And your sentiments and your words, you're 100% accurate. All this is distractions from the Epstein pedophilia group.
I agree with you, yes.
That's what this is about. The war that they're trying to start in Venezuela and Suriname right now by sending, I think there's 7 or 8 U.S. warships off the coast of Venezuela and Suriname right now to protect ExxonMobil. It's the exact same play they did in 1964.
We agree fully.
It's the exact same thing.
So it's like let's just throw things out. Let's kill Charlie Kirk.
He said the warships are there for drugs. He didn't say nothing about protecting Exxon Oil.
So, ma'am, in 1965...
My name is not ma'am, sir. My name is right at the top of their cat list. Please, don't start being trite.
In 64, when the Gulf of Tonkin event took place, the same sets of circumstances were going on because of the...
I understand that. I just said what I said. I understand that. You don't have to give me a history lesson. I just said what I said. But for the others who don't know the history lesson, you can go ahead and give it. Y'all be getting your panties in a bunch. I know you these clubhouse professors and shit, but as soon as I say something to you and knock you off your podium, y'all get your panties in a wad.
Excuse me, I'm on a call. I'll be back.
Did y'all need an intermission? Oh, Catalyst, don't go. Don't leave. Woo.
history lesson now. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh my God, girl,
Are you edging?
No, you guys all came back. Y'all was on your lunch break.
Lunch break? Nah.
That's what it sounded like.
No, I was just hanging out.
You was on a lunch break, or y'all was at a meeting, or?
I don't know what they were doing.
They don't want to hear Charlie Kirk's people. That's what.
If I'm not mistaken, Lisa been right beside you the whole time, Mel.
I've been in the chat. I'm a chat warrior now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay in the chat. Ooh, it's hot as.
It is 80 degrees outside. Or close to it.
Yeah, this is not. I'm all got on all this stuff. I'm gonna take some stuff off.
That chat had a lot of fire in there earlier today. And Gemini, and it was definitely on a hot note. But I'm glad that
you missed me playing the pastas. I'm gonna have to send you the link.
No, I didn't. I heard it. I just was. I wasn't. I was here, but I wasn't in the
flesh. You was like a fly in the wall. Okay. I get it. Sometimes I like to be the fly in the wall, so.
I wasn't in the flesh.
Not you in here as anonymous, First Lady.
No. I still got my spot.
Yeah, Second Lady be in the group.
Not Second Lady.
There only can be one first, so she gotta be second.
Right, but how do you know
that gotta be second?
That the other person might not be a lady? You see what I'm saying? True. But yeah, I think we should get into that pastor talk. A little later.
Oh, okay.
But what do I think? I don't think that. From what I heard, now Jamal may have went a little further, but from what you played, it was very mild. It wasn't too spicy. The person who came behind him was a little bit more spicy. Yeah, but why does it have to be opposed? I didn't say anything bad.
The second pastor that came behind him this time. Okay.
See, that's what I'm gonna get. Y'all gonna get deliverance. Y'all gonna get deliverance.
A lot of these pastors ain't what they pretend to be. You know that.
No. You know what, Mel? You probably need to play it over for Gemini.
Well, Gemini, I heard Gemini was talking about his pastor yesterday.
Yeah, I was traumatized yesterday. Y'all, like.
I know Sandra was telling us. Sandra said you mentioned something yesterday.
First like real quick, I'm not gonna be long, but he was like, he started off the service, and that's all I heard was the beginning because I left, with his voice trembling, sound like he was about to cry. He's like, "We lost a brother in Christ. I know you guys feel the pain that I'm feeling right now." He was killed for telling the truth, and Christ was persecuted for telling the truth as well.
Hey, Gemini, was this a black pastor?
No.
Okay.
That fucked me up though. Like he compared him to Christ. Like we can't even compare the pastor to Christ.
So I heard a pastor last week.
They're saying that he died telling the truth. So by saying that, I feel like he was directly supporting everything that the dude has said. If he's saying
how's it going?
He died telling the truth.
I'm going for a walk. Send.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Gemini.
Most of it is not to me about comparing him to they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that because it's a fake religious, right? But the comparison to Martin Luther King is gonna send me over the cliff. It really is. So I'm just warning anyone. Can I finish my sentence? So, no, you got it, bro. Let me just go on mute.
I'm sorry, Lisa. Go ahead.
No, why should I? Go ahead. I got it.
Come on now with this passive stuff. Go ahead, sis. I'm the only person that can do this. I'm the only one that can whine and cry. Nobody else.
First lady.
Exactly. She can't do what I do. That's my point. Go ahead, Lisa. I got him. Sit down, Ron. Don't you get up no more. Leave that microphone alone. Go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
One mic on Lisa.
You guys are funny. Anyway, I was heading up and down in my mouth. So what I'm going to say to y'all is, You don't have to forgive me, because when you motherfuckers started saying that Martin Luther King is comparable, no, Charlie Kirk is comparable to Martin Luther King, y'all gonna see the New York side of me. I am not gonna listen to that shit again like we did last night. Not listening to it. He is not comparable. Find a white leader to compare him to. Don't keep dragging my man MLK out the fucking mausoleum every fucking time you need somebody to make blacks shudder about. Stop it. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. Martin Luther King was a civil rights activist. Charlie Kirk was not. I'm not gonna say nothing else because I know we're on lockdown with our lips. Our lips are on lockdown. We can't say nothing about this man like we over in
lips are on lockdown.
Russia. Y'all lips, Mel. You don't feel like your lips are on lockdown?
No.
Yes. I get back messages, Telegram messages. You better change the title. You better put that up. You better take your replays off. I'm like, what the fuck?
I do not sound like that.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
Can I just say?
I didn't read yours. I had the. Listen, here goes again.
No,
go ahead, bro. You got it.
Gemini just talked. I thought we was doing like a.
But Gemini has that special green.
Oh, you're right.
Beam. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all men have it. Go ahead, King.
All I was gonna say is like y'all don't feel like y'all on like an island. Hello? Y'all don't feel like y'all like on an island of people who like still have some sense, like who still don't like praise this man who died and got killed. Like y'all don't feel like y'all like. I feel like everybody's like caving to this thing, and I'm the only one that's like. What the fuck is happening? Y'all don't feel like that? I feel like that. That's all I want to say.
You're the only one?
Well, I'm talking about the people in this room, right? You know, like, it's like...
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, well...
Ron, explain it to her. She's not
please.
Not explain a little.
Hey, Ron, let me try, Ron. Like in this room, even though we're a minority, we're the majority in this room, right? And we have pretty much a collective thought or a collective view of what just transpired and who he actually was prior to his death and what he represented, right? We all pretty much are in alignment on that. But outside of this room, it seems like the majority of people, and I think it's signified by his Instagram going from 6 million to 12 million post-mortem, are actually siding with him and saying they had a righteous message. He was a righteous man. He was a good, God-fearing Christian man. He was our potential next presidential candidate. And we lost such an amazing martyr, right? And I think that is where he's saying, like, how are people viewing him like that when we all see something different, but we're the minority and the majority of the people seem to be praising him right now. I think that's
That's what I'm saying.
So
what is that about?
I call it out publicly. He's trash.
I don't know what you're talking about because we all doing the same thing. It's like weird.
We are.
You feel like you're the only one was kind of weird.
Explain that. Let the boy head go, Lisa. Let the boy head
I know you like attention.
And she decided, I'm not letting go. I don't care if it listens or not. I'm not lock on, and this is where we at.
I love you, Lisa.
I'm talking about Ron.
I love you too. I love me some Ron.
Lisa.
I love me some
Lisa
Ron.
just said that she don't feel like she could speak. So that means
It sounds like y'all want some fire.
Okay, I got you.
Nah, I'm good. It's hot enough. No, it's hot enough, First Lady. I'm good.
Because we can go to hell real quick.
No, baby, we good.
Take it there. I'll lead the way. I'm going to lead you there,
I'm good, though. I'm just trying to be a contrarian right now.
Okay, I'm back because I have to change my thing out of music.
I had a debate.
No, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. Wow. Mel just got an attitude. Wait a minute, hold up. You said you about to change your thing out of music. You want to play the clip now?
No, I didn't want to play shit. I want y'all to fucking hear me, and y'all wasn't hearing me because I had my shit on music.
I can hear you, but you weren't bold enough with your speech, so
it wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't given New York.
it wasn't
wasn't bold enough, you know. But I want you to stay in music mode if you got the clip.
Well, remember it was 4 clips, so.
One mic on Mel, empty the clip.
There we go. All right, I got you right now. Let me go to the. All right. Let me go back to this. There was another guy, he walked out of his church. He said he'd been attending this church for 10 years. And after they did a moment of silence, he's out. He's like, yeah, this ain't for me. This church ain't for me no more.
Y'all gonna laugh. I got emotional yesterday. I was emotional after that. Like, yeah.
To be honest, I think
That's not even funny. Shit like that will make you upset, so you'll be emotional.
Your facts.
too. Because
Pastor, I called him right after he did it. He said something similar to that, Gemini. I heard it on Wednesday night Bible study. I called him immediately afterwards and got in and told him facts. And he's like, well, you know, it's not nuance. He was a white piece of trash. He was anti-black. And the fact that you up here caping for him as a black man in front of all these parishioners, you out. You off. You off. Like, who raised you, partner? Where'd you come from? Where were your parents? The young man, he's like in his 40s, so, but still, no, you don't know history. He was not Christian at all. He was antichrist. He was not Christian at all.
Well put. Mel, you dropping the clip?
Hold on, because it's 4 clips. Let me get the first one first.
No, I just wanted to make sure we wasn't cutting you off.
Okay. All right, so the first one is Pastor Jamal preaching this past Sunday.
About all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that they having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? So, is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. I'm concerned.
So that was that Pastor Jamal from Georgia for Atlanta. For anybody that doesn't know. The next one is another pastor. I'm not sure where he does. Hold on.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I
next one is the pastor from Chicago responding to both of those preachings. Hold on. So he plays a few of the clips.
Just all over the country of a man that was racist and a white supremacist.
I said, Congressman to honor and bury a man who was an unapologetic racist. No, we cannot be silent about the idolatry and the racism that is going on in the black church. And Jamal Bryant is one of the biggest goofies behind a pulpit. Just because you sitting there hooping and hollering, I say that don't mean it's anointed. That don't mean it's spirit filled. This is the same dude that went to the gay church with two gay men as pastors and acknowledged them as the first gentleman. How are y'all still listening to this man like he led by the Spirit and everything he do go against the Bible? I'll tell you why. Because y'all put culture over kingdom and there's idolatry in the black church. Hey, my sis said it best. She said, don't be so pro-black you become anti-Christ. That is the problem. Show me the tape, Jamal. Take the tape of Charlie Kirk being racist and post it on your platform. Because y'all keep running with this narrative. Y'all got a lot to say. Show me the tape. I done looked at every video where they said this man was being racist, and I looked at the clip in context. Find the tape, Jamal. Find the tape. Post it on your page, and let's talk about it. You a goofy, bro. You a clown, bro. You a wolf, and you misleading the people. And you know how you do it? Because of the hurt, because of the trauma in the black community. Yes, a lot of evil things happen. Yes, there is some racism. Yes, what happened back in the day with slavery and through the civil rights movement, it was awful. But some of you black pastors, you making our people be victims. You teaching the opposite of what the Bible says because you the real racist. And some of y'all make money, right, by keeping our people down, and they looking and they put all their hope in the pastor. What y'all really, man? I'm sick of it, bro. Show me the tapes. Show me the tapes. Stop making the claims if you don't got the tapes.
So now Pastor Jamal responds with the tapes. Hold on.
So much has been said over the last couple of days in reference to the murder of Charlie Kirk, suggesting that this is the signal that Christendom is going forward. It is a very poor misrepresentation. We are against violence in all of its forms, and what took place in Utah was absolutely heinous. But yet, it still does not dismiss. In spite of how he died, it doesn't erase how it is that he lived. I don't want to be taken out of context, but I want to ask you, in Charlie's own words, is this the voice of Christendom and the church?
For these blacks trying to go rob her, happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. Black crime is a major issue in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform? Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Now, the southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. I do think that there is a direct correlation between someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they have today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed.
And that is the end.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. Y'all can't
Mel.
check Mel.
Now, in the beginning, was that all Pastor Jamal or another pastor too?
It was, I started it off with Jamal, then it was another pastor.
Yeah, I like him. He went to the
Correct.
house.
After another pastor, it was the response from the third pastor, and then Jamal responded on the fourth video.
Who was the one who called Jamal Bryant a goofy? Because he was a fucking goof. Oh, sorry, Pastor.
He is a pastor from Chicago. His name is Marcus. I'm gonna tell you his name right. Marcus Rogers. Child of the King is his Instagram. But if you click on the profile, he is the pastor of Firehouse Chicago.
Is he the older
Firehouse is a church?
Correct.
Child, and he's somebody goofy. That's the goofiest name I ever heard for a house of worship. Fires. What the? He's a grifter, Maria.